The Hanko project, I'm going to be showing you how to make something that looks like this using Google Translate and Adobe Illustrator. So I'm going to first actually click on and remove the work that I've done here so that we're looking at the template file you'll start with. So this template file consists of a little over 1 inch black square and then this red rectangle we call the safe area. So this red rectangle won't actually get turned into part of your Hanko. It's just a guide for you. Your design should really stay within this, otherwise you risk parts of it hanging off the edge of the wooden cube when we laser engrave this. So these two pieces are in the file that you'll be provided with beforehand, and they're locked by default so you can't accidentally move or change them. And everything you add to this file you'll just create on top. So to start, we're going to go to Google Translate and type in your name. So I'm going to use my first name and make sure it's set to Japanese, and then I can just click the copy translation button. I can go over to Adobe Illustrator and either hit T or choose the type tool from over there. I'm just going to click once so that it pops up ready to type, and I'm going to hit Command V to paste my text in. I'm going to click here on the selection tool. At the top it's the black chevron shape, and you'll notice my text is black so I can't see it. So I'm going to click on Properties, Fill, and then set it to white. And now I have my white text. I can drag it around, I can resize it, but in Illustrator, anytime you resize, even if you do it from the corner, you risk stretching your object unless you hold Shift while you resize. So I'm going to just resize a little bit, just to get my shapes a little bit bigger while making sure I'm holding Shift. And then I'm going to come over under Quick Actions and say Create Outlines. And that's going to take this from being actual text to individual shapes that we can actually manipulate and move around. So when I do that, it creates this text. It doesn't look much different. The box, you'll notice, is tighter to it. It's more like a shape in terms of how the computer sees it. So you'll notice when I highlight over each letter, they show up with a little blue outline. If I click once, I get the whole thing, and that's because they're grouped by default. So once I've selected this, I can right-click, ungroup. And now I have the ability to grab my individual characters and do things like hold Shift and resize them independent from one another and drag them around my screen. And so I'm going to go up with a little design, I suppose, by just kind of manipulating these. Of course, that will be your choice what you want to go where, but I might set this on top of here and bring the size of this up a little bit. I sort of like these shapes side by side. And now I've occupied a lot of my safe area without really going outside of it, so I'm happy with the way this looks. And actually it's ready for laser engraving just like that. So I would just make sure I went to File, and I'm going to save it as an Adobe, on my computer, an Adobe Illustrator file. So just make sure it says AI. In the name I would give, put your full name in there. So for me I would say Mitchell Greist Hanko, and then save it somewhere where I can get it and email it to me for laser engraving.